Hey guys, it is Sunday here in West Virginia, and as promised, we're unboxing the new Hot Wheels RLC 1972 Yenko Nova Pro Street. And this thing is really cool in person. Here's the brown shipper box they come in, and mine was shipped just like that. As you can see, the label, because I only ordered one. I was going to order two, but I figured I'm just going to get one because most likely it wasn't going to be a sellout, but it eventually was. I think it sold out within the first couple of days, but definitely was not a sellout the first day. But it did better than the Ford GT40, which I was surprised because that GT40 is sweet. I was going to get one, but since I changed my direction with my collection, where I got rid of all my race cars and stuff and started doing the lowrider thing, I just decided to steer clear of the GT40. But this one I didn't. And as you can see in their box too, I want to show you, they made this cool little insert to hold the white box in place so it doesn't bounce around and stuff during shipping. And anyways, this is the first time I've seen that. They may have done it on the other ones in the past, but I haven't seen it until getting this one. So as you can see, you get your white outer box as usual, and it's done in like 70s lettering, like 1972 Chevy Nova SS that screams 70s all over it with the way they wrote that. And then the bow tie with Chevrolet. In cap, Chevrolet with Mattel Creations. Once again, 1972 Chevy Nova SS, Chevrolet. And then on this end cap, it's the Red Line Club. On the back side, you have your licensing stuff for Hot Wheels and Yenko, Goodyear, GM, and others. So this, one thing that's a surprise, though, I'm surprised they didn't have Yenko somewhere on the box. And when I got mine, there's a sticker here. It's sealed. But this one here, as you can see, it doesn't have any, like, adhesive on it. It has a little bit. But when I opened it up, it was just like that. The sticker was folded down. I didn't even have to peel it off. It was just hanging there. So mine wasn't, like, really officially sealed from Mattel. So sliding out the acrylic case, but it has another case over it, and it has our write-up here. We'll go ahead and read this. How do you take the already impressive 1972 Chevy Nova SS and make it even cooler? Turning it into a Yenko modified muscle monster would be a fantastic guess. Hot Wheels did just that, then doubled down by turning it into a pro street model. Street legal and race lethal, this model was built to emulate drag racing cars in the Pro Stock class with a roaring engine and earthquake-inducing exhaust. Take it a step further with a removable front end, modified rear suspension, and custom wheel tubs to fit the first-use Real Riders Pro Strip wheels. And these look really cool. They modeled them after the Weld Super Lights, the ones that had the holes in them. So anyways, loud, fast, and intimidating. It is also a visual behemoth with purple Spectraflame paint and Yenko SYC graphics. Car and performance nerds alike know exactly how special a car like this can be. A Nova SS is one thing. Yenko Nova SS is another. But an RLC Pro Street Yenko Nova SS straight savage. Now, one thing, Yenkos usually were not SS Novas. They were usually, I think, based on just the basic baseline Nova, just like their Camaros and Chevelles were. But the later years, they could have started using the SS package. I don't know. But the early Camaros and Chevelles, they were just base, like 6-cylinder cars. But they were equipped with the big block and the 12-bolt rear end and such, and heavier duty suspension and things like that. But there were no like SS badges or anything like that on them. The only badges that were on them were the blue bow ties on the front and rear, and then the Yenko badges that were installed at the dealer. So anyways, looking at this on this end cap, it's really not a red end cap because it's a dome, but Redline Club, just like the outer box, and then SYC Yenko. This is cool. And then the car kind of launching at the strip there, and it has the Christmas tree for the strip in 1972, Nova SS, Hot Wheels, and Hot Wheels on the top and such. So very cool. The only thing that would have been better if they would have limited it to like 10,000 pieces and numbered it, but they didn't. But anyways, it still is a cool car. Look at this thing. Now, they've tried the weld wheels before on some cars, but they only did the fronts. And the front ones that they did make were not that attractive at all because they used their mushroom style axle, where what I mean by that is the tips are mushroomed and the axle actually goes through the wheel. And it looks like they did the same thing with this, but it's flatter. It's not domed up like they had done in the past. So these look really good, but they never had a matching rear. Now they do have the matching rear, but the one thing I could see, it looks like the rear wheel is a little bit larger diameter than the front wheel. It may just be because of the large tire, and the skinny front tire is kind of giving that illusion. But I grew up around pro street cars, and usually the back wheel looked really tiny compared to the front wheel because it's such a huge tire. So I don't know. But anyways, it still looks good. And one thing I noticed on mine, if you could see the Yenko emblem on this front fender, kind of looks a little crooked, but I think they did that because they were out of room before it hit the wheel opening. I would have stacked these emblems, done Nova, and then put the Yenko underneath it. That's just my opinion. The Yenko stripe on the side looks really good. And you can see you have the Redline logo here on your case, 1972 Chevy Nova SS and Yenko there and such. And we're going to go ahead and get the dome off. I'm going to pull it off camera because sometimes these domes are hard to get off. They are not like the M2 stuff where it's easy to get off. Now they still put a piece of PVC plastic in there to keep the car, I guess, in place, but they have screws on the bottom. Then the front clip is very hard to get off. So let's do a spin around on it now. You have Yenko Go on the plate and your big SS emblem on the back tail panel with the Yenko emblem and Nova and your trunk lock, and you could see the roll cage going through the rear deck panel there and such, and you can see your racing buckets with the 5-way harnesses. They did a really nice job on the interior of this thing. And the doors look like there's aluminum door panels for lightweight. And same thing with the rear package tray. I call it a deck panel, but same thing. It just looks like it is aluminum finish. And then your steering wheel and such. So the front clip, it kind of slides forward, and the other day when I was taking it off, it was a little hard to get off like that. So as you can see, the SYC on the front, and then the Nova emblems. The grill is very nicely done. Headlight tampos and marker light tampos. This is a very nicely done piece. The chrome front bumper is another piece that goes on with the grill, so it's not just one piece, it's a multi-piece front end. And then looking at the engine in this monster, it's got a Dominator carburetor. The valve covers are kind of narrow, so I'd say it's probably based on a small block, but I don't know, it should be a big block. Maybe part of the valve cover is hiding under these black panels. I guess we could imagine it that way. And then you have the radiator. It looks like an aluminum unit from like Be Cool or Griffin or somebody like that. And you can see your fan there. They did a really cool job on this thing. I mean, all the little details are there. You can see a radiator hose and such. Really nice work from Hot Wheels on this thing. Now, they mentioned that it had some exhaust, mammoth exhaust, I think they used, or something like that, is how they described it. And I want to see what that exhaust looks like. I have not taken this off the stand yet. This will be the first time, so you guys will see it with me. And this thing got here super fast. Excuse me. When I ordered it on Tuesday, I got an email that Tuesday evening saying it shipped. And then it arrived on, I think, Thursday or Friday. I cannot recall 100%. So underneath, it looks pretty good. You have your, I guess I would say, the lower bars of a 4-link suspension and the bottoms of the coilover shocks. So that looks pretty realistic. And then you have your fuel line, it looks like. And then the drive shaft and the bottom of the transmission and engine, and then the headers, and the rivet goes right in where the oil pan would have been. So it looks very, very realistic underneath. Even has the rack and pinion front end, so it's riding on either a rack and pinion swap, or it is using a Mustang 2 front end. But a lot of guys use the subframes from Camaros and Novas for street rods to have a more modern steering setup and gearbox. But a lot of times people use Mustang 2s more so nowadays than they did back in the past. And now they're making them a little bit beefier, where you can use that Mustang 2 independent front end on cars with big blocks and heavier weight and such. So it is a very beautiful car. The slicks are really nicely done. Very nicely done car. And it has the mushroom tipped axles, so that's cool. And I want to try to get the front end back on here. Yeah, it's kind of a hard well, there it goes. That was easy getting it on, but getting it off was a bitch. So getting it on is much easier than getting it off. And it even looks like, I don't know, that may be just the steering column or a tack mounted on the steering column. So yeah, it's easy to get fingerprints, and they show up real easy on the Spectra Flame. I would just love to see them in solid colors, like candy colors, instead of Spectra Flame. That's just me. I mean, Spectra Flame is beautiful, but it does make it look more toyish than realistic. Nowadays they have the wraps and stuff that make the car look chrome or whatever. Now, the Novas that Greenlight have, I think, are pretty close to scale. I just want to match it up with the Hot Wheels one. And you know what? They're about almost identical. So that's really cool. Very awesome. And then back here, you can see I'm a fan of the Greenlight Nova. There's a green SS, and there is a red Yenko to go with that one. So pretty cool. So even though I did get rid of a lot of my race cars, actually all of my race cars, I still kept some of my Pro Streets and hot rods and stuff, because I still like stuff like that. I still like race cars. I just wanted to change over to lowriders because I was getting bored with the race car stuff. The lowriders are cool because you can play with them and position the suspension different and things like that. So I really enjoy them. So anyways, guys, that's it for the RLC 1972 Yenko SS Pro Street Nova. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll be back again tomorrow to kick off the week with our Mopar Monday. Thanks for watching, guys.